Hi, it's Dr. Fox. I'm a licensed psychologist in the state of Texas. And let me tell you, being an adult sucks. Now, in this video, we're going to discuss personality and the fear of growing up and becoming an adult. Now, this fear is often rooted in the unknown and the responsibility that comes with perceived adulthood. The idea of being solely responsible for one's life and decisions can be overwhelming, especially when faced with uncertainty and unpredictability complicated by BPD self-talk and self-perception. So please like, share, and subscribe, and comment as well. And let's get into it. In 2022, individuals aged 20 to 40, they suffered from high levels of depression, anxiety, collective trauma, and lack of motivation. Now, it's natural to feel that you're not prepared for adulthood. You may think, I don't want to be an adult. I don't know how to be an adult. I can't handle adulting, which are all common fears associated with the idea of becoming an adult. And we can break down these fears into three components. And the first is accepting responsibility for oneself. And that can be really, really scary and really challenging because a lot of times individuals grow up with this parenting by the negative. And parenting by the negative means that when you do something good or successful or moderately successful, you don't really hear much. You might hear, atta girl, atta boy, something like that. But when you make a mistake, that gets pointed out and then it's brought up to you, perhaps on a regular or routine basis. And that gets internalized. And that internalization can create a sense of fear. And it makes you question yourself. It prevents you from exercising autonomy to do things differently and make your own choices. Now, the second component is making independent decisions. That goes to exactly what I talked about, that autonomy, about making those independent decisions. Well, here's the thing. When you make an independent decision, you're also taking the responsibility for the success, which is great, but also for any challenges, or if you perceive it this way, as failures that might come along with it. Let me tell you something about failure real quick. Is that you're only a failure if you stop, if you quit. Now, I don't know a lot of people in my life, particularly even in my practice, that are quitters because I work with individuals that have BPD. It's a very challenging disorder. However, it's the most successfully treated disorder. And these individuals, they don't give up. They may struggle in certain aspects of their life, just like you do, just like everybody else. And they may attack themselves for really routine mistakes or challenges or errors, just like you do. But when we talk about making independent decisions, these are decisions that we are making for us to move us forward. And we're also willing to accept the consequences of those decisions. That's a huge component, but it can be really scary. Now, the last component, this is standing on your own financial 2 feet. This can be really tricky because now we're talking about employability. We're talking about sometimes entrepreneurship. Some of my clients just have this intensive drive for entrepreneurship. And I think that's great. That's really risky. It can be really tricky. However, when you're standing on your own financial 2 feet, there's a sense of accomplishment. There's a sense of power with it, but it doesn't just magically show up, right? You're not going to get 10 million or $1 billion on your front door magically, where you open the door one day and you're like, hey, there's that 10 billion I needed, right? It doesn't happen. It's a slow process. And it's interesting, I remember one of the sayings that stuck with me is that it takes a lifetime to be an overnight success. I mean, think about that, right? Is that because there are dues to pay. There are things that we have to do in order to reach that level of success. But from the outside, and this happens on social media and stuff like that all the time, is that we see people and what they've achieved or their house or their car or whatever it is. And we assume, wow, they've really made it. But we don't know, do they have relationship problems? Everybody does to varying degrees, so yeah. Do they struggle with finances? They certainly may, particularly if they have a giant house and a real nice fancy car and there's taxes with that and there's all that other stuff. And I'm not being negative. I'm just supplying a degree of reality to it because we have to have reality in those expectations. And standing on your own financial 2 feet can be really scary. And recognize that it is a slow process until you are that overnight success as well. Now, let's look at this when we add the component of a personality disorder. We'll use BPD. So BPD or BPD traits, this complicates many different aspects, particularly those three components that we just talked about, by infusing this sense of self-doubt, reinforcing looking externally to others, whether they're healthy or unhealthy others, and it's poor emotional and behavioral control and engaging in risky behavior. All of these things go against that adulting feeling or the perception that when you're an adult, you've got it all figured out. Again, let me pull back the curtain on that one. Adults don't have it all figured out. Whatever you would imagine adults to know or what adults are, and even if you are adult age, that having that idea that people have it all figured out, no one's got it all figured out. I assure you of that. Now, we can extend this out into perception of others and self-comparison. Now, this is an area ripe with BPD, self-criticism, and shame. You look outward and you see your friends or people you don't know, like on social media, right? And they appear to have it all together. They're adults making a difference, right? And they have control. Well, the truth is they don't, and they struggle with the same fears and doubts that you do. That's the reality. That's part of the human condition. And the volume of that self-contempt is controlled by BPD, but it can also be controlled by low self-esteem or other mental health issues that you or someone else is contending with. The important and central point of all of this is you and your perception. If you look at your self-perception, evaluate it. What does it say? And can you challenge it? You can't swim to the surface with an anchor around your leg. You just can't. And many of us put that anchor on our own leg. I'm not saying that we all don't have struggles and issues and concerns that we're always contending with, but a lot of us put that anchor on our leg by our perception, by those three fears that keep us locked to that anchor that pulls us down, pulls us underwater. And you may have put that anchor there, but it's time to break free. It's time to swim to the surface. So how do we overcome that adulting fear? Now, to overcome this fear, you want to break down your perception of adulthood into smaller, manageable parts. Start by setting 2 or 3 attainable goals and working towards them. Now, this will help you build confidence and a sense of control over your life and push back on that BPD or that negative self-talk, that self-condemnation, and challenge that distorted perception of yourself. Recognize that making mistakes is a natural part of the learning process. All of us do it. It's just part of it. Mistakes are awesome. They're a positive thing. Best things discovered by accident include, get ready, chocolate chip cookies, Post-it notes, Velcro, popsicles, and many, many more. I want you to be a chocolate chip cookie. I want you to embrace the opportunity to learn from your mistakes. This will help you grow and develop your skills and knowledge. And lastly, seek support from trusted, healthy friends, family, or professionals that can provide a sense of comfort and reassurance during times of uncertainty or stress. And because you experience setbacks or barriers, that doesn't mean you're broken or unable to succeed. You're experiencing something that all of us experiences. And that doesn't mean that you can't be an adult. It doesn't mean that you can't make independent decisions and you can't be financially on your own. It doesn't mean that. With patience, determination, and support, the fear of being an adult can be overcome. This will empower you to embrace the opportunities and challenges that come with your new perspective of embracing your adulthood and the positive power that comes with it. Because if you embrace that sense of responsibility, you embrace those choices, and you do things that increase the probability of positive outcome, you can do nothing but succeed. And it is not a straight line up. It is not. You are going to have setbacks. You are going to have challenges. Everybody that we deem to be successful in the history of the world has had setbacks, failures, and challenges. It's your turn to now hear that and utilize that, challenge that sense of self-perception, stop being locked in place, and do what you need to do to go forward and grow and achieve the things that you want to achieve. So I hope you found this helpful. Check out my other videos, and please like, share, and subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye-bye.